everybody! I'm here today with a driving lesson for beginners on keeping calm behind the wheel, okay? So it is unbelievably important to keep calm behind the wheel while you're driving. Like, I cannot stress the importance enough. A calm driver is a safe driver. And I'm not here to say I've never snapped behind the wheel, I've never lost it, because believe me, probably hundreds of times I've snapped and lost it. And still to this day, it's something that happens every once in a while. Even though I try to keep calm, sometimes I just lose it. It's absolutely normal. But the goal is this, not to never snap again, because you might be bottling things up, but the goal is to snap as little as possible, lose it as little as possible, and make your threshold for losing your cool very high, okay? So it takes a lot more to set me off and make me not calm now than it did many years ago. Sorry about that. It's just saying my windshield washer fluid is low. I'm gonna refill it as soon as I park the car. So I'm gonna tell you some strategies that you can use to make sure that you stay calm behind the wheel. First and foremost, how you start is, generally speaking, how you will finish. Meaning, if you start off, you get in the car and you're already amped up in a negative way, not pumped up like, woo, I love life, like amped up in a negative way, you're gonna be caused to snap or lose your cool way more easily, okay? So you wanna get in the car and be calm. And if you're not calm when you first start driving, if you're not cool and collected when you first start driving, you wanna just, here's the strategy, start the car, feel that motor just start to rev up a little bit, and then just take like 10 deep breaths and relax. And I'm telling you, like, even just thinking about doing it, I've already calmed myself down right now. You could probably hear my voice is much calmer. And sometimes you don't need to be calm. You know, if you're going to the gym, I don't want you to be calm. I want you to get pumped up. But for driving, it's something that requires being calm behind the wheel in order to be safe. So you want to calm yourself down before you even start driving. Okay? Then it comes to while you're driving. And obviously before you start driving, think about safety. Make sure you're remembering that you have to be safe as a driver. That is your number one concern for yourself and everyone else around you. Now, when you're driving, there are things that are going to set you off. You first want to think, why is this thing setting me off? And is it worth it for me to snap? Sometimes it is. I'll tell you right now. Sometimes it's 100% worth it for you to just start screaming. Because if it's a matter of screaming or like speeding, if you're that angry, then you know what, scream. It's better that you scream than you speed. But that's a very rare occurrence. So let's say someone's tailgating me. That caused me to get angry. I think, why am I angry? That's the first thing that I think. Okay, they're riding too close to my rear bumper. No problem. Now, is that affecting my driving in any way? I just look at them and I just ignore them and I just keep driving. And then I'm like, well, you know what? They're stuck behind me, but they can go around me, but they want to just keep right. And as long as I'm doing the right thing, if I'm driving the speed limit, which is just, you know, I'm not driving too slowly, because then that's kind of my fault if they're riding my rear bumper if I'm driving too slowly, right? But if I'm driving the speed limit, then I know I'm doing the right thing, okay? Or driving the appropriate speed, I'm doing the right thing. They're riding my rear bumper. I don't need to snap because they're just gonna stay there. Go ahead. They're stuck. They're absolutely stuck behind me. And then I laugh because I'm like, like, I win, bro. You're stuck behind me. You're riding my rear bumper. If you decide to rear end me, it's gonna be 100% your fault. So I'm like, I just start laughing. And it's funny because my kid's like, Dad, why are you laughing? And I say, because I won. And I'm like, what? And I used to snap all the time when people do that. But by just logically coming to a conclusion, a logical, educated conclusion, you realize that most of the time, there is no need to snap. Even the person that's driving in front of you too slowly. Let's say there's a person driving too slowly in front of you. And then you're snapping, because like, yeah, I want to go around you, but I can't, right? I realize, wow, they're actually giving me an excuse to just calm down and chill out. They're giving me a reason to just relax. And by doing that, I essentially allow myself to logically think there is no need to lose it. Because now I can drive slowly, I can take a few moments where I'm forced to calm down, and it's actually a benefit for me because I end up calming down more than I was before. Just making sure I'm parked in the right spot. The other thing is, if you're on the road, you know, you can try taking deep breaths. If logic won't calm you down, you can try taking some deep breaths and relaxing. In addition to that, you can actually pull over. If you're about to snap, what I've found in the past is like pulling over just for like 30 seconds to a minute. Pull over off into a parking lot, onto a side street, just relax. Think about all of the things in your life that you have value on. Like all of the things that make it so that you shouldn't snap. So for me, I think about my wife and kids, you know, all the people that count on me to make these videos, you know, my family, my parents, my sisters, brother-in-laws, nieces, nephews, blah, blah, blah. And I think about all those things, and I'm like, I don't need to snap. I don't need to lose my cool, because it's just not worth it, you know? Most of the time we lose our cool because we feel like we're losing. But when you think about the things that you have in life, right, you realize you're winning, and there's no need to snap. You don't need to, because you're winning, right? We snap, we lose our cool because we feel like we've lost or we can't get something. But when you realize that you already have those things that you want and that you've won, there's no need to snap, okay? Also, it's a habit, right? So, you know, you'll realize you snap over the same things on the road. So what you want to do is start building a positive, cool, calm, collected habit behind the wheel. So when something happens, your habit is to stay calm instead of to snap. And believe me, it took me, I'd say, a solid 2 to 3 years of training myself to make this happen. And it mainly happened when I had kids. You know, when I got married and when I had kids, I started to change. And once I built those habits, I was able to stay calm behind the wheel. And I still snap, like I said, but first of all, I never snap when my kids are in the car because I don't want them to see that. But secondly, you know, it takes a lot more to make me snap. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but just use me as an example. I was Mr. Snapper, and then I kind of, now I'm Mr. like calm as a cucumber, right? So that's basically it. You know, I really hope you've enjoyed this video on keeping calm behind the wheel. This has been a driving lesson for beginners because I believe that beginners can have the most improvement on this because they're generally speaking they're the youngest drivers, which is the highest rate of snapping. And they can build those habits now because they're still beginners. And that's it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.